people. Okay, that's amazing. So,
Tran
Polly D.
being
Here, hey, calm down, relax. So, Polly D, what's
mad.
okay? Polly D, let me ask you a clarifying question. Do they
Yes.
all have the same false belief, or
Uh,
let's
what do you
focus?
mean
So,
by that?
well, I mean, maybe you think that. Well, let's just restrict the people that we're talking
Wait,
about.
can
So
I
it's
just say? Can I just say one thing? So let me just lock down something. When we say trans people, we're talking about the 1% of the population, right? Yeah, like
I
trans
don't
people.
know the numbers. I don't know the numbers, my man.
Yeah,
They have a mental illness.
but approximately 1% of the population, right? Those are the people we're
Wait.
talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
where's he?
so why? Look, I gotta ask. Why are we doing this? What's the 1% thing?
Not because, well, we want to make sure that we're talking about the same. When we say trans people, we're talking about the
Yes,
same.
Yeah. Who
trans
else are we
people
talking
are
about?
mentally ill.
The
Trans is a mental
80% of
illness.
people. Like, what do we? Hey, Papa Smurf, calm down. We'll talk to you in just a minute.
I'm not mad. You're the one getting mad.
Nah, look, you're just giving out a lot of inflammatory statements.
I mean,
God
to be
damn it.
fair,
Fuck.
I mean to be
Sorry.
All right, well, look, we just have to stop somebody from talking. Okay, there's like 3 different people all on the pro-delusional side, and it's just too hectic. Okay, so one person has to go. I say
I'm
Jason.
sorry.
Jason, can you just calm down for a second? So,
Yeah,
Polly
sorry.
D,
yes.
what I proposed is that we just make sure that we're talking about a more specific population. Okay, let's say transgendered women. Now, it's obviously, if it's true of trans people that they're delusional, then it's going to be true of the proper subset, the transgender women. So,
So-
let me ask you this.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do transgender women all have the same false belief, or is there like a 50% of them have some false belief, and the other ones, like the other 50%, have some other false belief, or however you want to draw the lines? Do they all have the same?
I would say the younger ones are probably doing it because they see it
Look,
on
you're
social
talking
media.
away from the question. Remember what we said? You're talking away
I
from
would
the
say
question.
they have different
Okay.
sorts of false beliefs. Some of it is mental, like they're born with it, as like gender dysphoria, and some of
Dude.
it is just stuff they see online.
Do they?
So
Do,
50-50.
Wait, but do they all share one false belief at least? Do they have like a shared, you know,
That they're a
set-wide-
different gender, I guess. Yeah, but the belief comes in different.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
I understand that maybe the way
Oh.
you get the belief is different. Some people, see
Oh, that's
online
the
stuff.
point. Oh, wait, hold on. That's the point. The point is the way
Yes.
you get the belief is like different, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what he's
Right.
saying. Okay, amazing. All right, that's fine. They all have the same false belief. What's the false belief? So just, I want to also say one thing just for clarification. When we're talking about a false belief, Pauly D, okay, we're specifically talking about a statement that you think is true, okay, but it's actually false, right? So what's the is that what you mean?
Yes.
False belief? Yeah. So what's the statement that trans women believe is false?
This is the question is
Wait,
incorrect.
whoa,
The
whoa,
question,
just-
no, the
wait,
question, no, wait a
please.
second. The question is
They-
a loaded
You're
question
interrupting.
because
You're not part of
in
the
order to answer that question, you have to assume that trans people are actually women. Like that's not how that works. Like you're coming at it from a bad faith premise.
I would
You're
say
defining his argument for him. Like this is ridiculous.
Okay, I'm
Alright.
not. He's not giving an argument right now, dude. And I was
Okay.
just asking about his view. So we're not assuming anything that he disagrees
You're
with.
telling him how to frame his view and what his view is. That's
No,
like a
I'm
bad
not.
faith
Like,
argument.
that's not happening. None of that is happening right now.
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
is
asking
happening.
the
I heard
question.
it. Everyone in here heard it.
Okay. Well, everybody here disagrees with you too. So
You don't speak
Let me
for
just
everyone
repeat
in
the
this room.
question.
You're
Please.
just one
Alright.
person.
Please,
This is
dude.
a
I
bad
don't
faith.
care how the
Wait,
It's a
question
bad
is
faith
phrased.
argument to
Just
tell
tell me.
everyone how
Wait, calm
everyone
down.
else in
Wait,
this room thinks.
invocation. Wait, Invicavon. Can you calm down? Can you
I
calm
don't
down?
care how the
Wait,
question is phrased towards me. Just ask it.
Yeah, I mean, let's stop crying about the way that we're asking the question.
Dude, just ask the
figure out-
question.
Oh my
Like,
god,
stop
oh my
being
god,
a
I'll
guys.
bitch.
repeat it.
Wait, stop,
Yeah.
stop.
So the question is, what is the false statement? Just give me the false statement clearly.
That gender is malleable.
So the false statement that transgendered women believe in
Dude,
is that
stop repeating him.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
like
just
fucking
making sure we're
respond
on
to
the
his
same
point. Like
page.
this is insufferable.
I'm just
You're
making sure.
literally insufferable.
Wait, you're interrupting the
Hello.
conversation. Hi, what's up?
Like, don't entertain random. Like, I'm just making sure we're on the same page by repeating what they
I
said.
mean, you're taking forever to like not make any
Okay,
points and have
look,
any
calm
arguments.
down.
Like this is ridiculous.
Calm down. So the false statement is transgendered women believe gender is malleable. That's what you're saying, right,
Yes,
Paul?
all transgender people. Yes.
What the fuck does that mean? Gender is
It
malleable.
means
Oh,
what was that?
oh my god. Now you're pretending you don't understand what malleable means. Like you think we
Why?
believe this? You think we believe that you're
means-
this fucking dumb?
Wait, I feel like
Oh, I
It
don't
means
understand.
it-
Explain what these words mean.
It means it could be changed
it's like
or
a
bent
double
in
agent.
some way,
Somebody
right?
sent him in here to play offense or something, dude.
Yeah.
Like, why? Who sent you in here to play interference, dude? What's with you right now?
Can you calm
That's
down?
what malleable means. It means it's something that could be changed.
Oh
or-
wait, so
or
you're saying
literally bent.
you're saying like they think you can go from being a man into a woman and vice versa, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. That's
Or
that's
any
your answer.
sort of, or anything close, or anything like close to that, like any other sort of gender that people, you know.
Okay, so
So I
to be fair,
think your strategy should just be to ask like what it means to be a woman and then see if they believe you can like change
wow,
whatever
nice
attributes.
advice, dude. Nice
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah.
I took all that, dude. You didn't even give me enough time to write all that down. You gave me a perfect script, dude, and you spoiled everything that's gonna happen. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go
Why?
on.
Okay. Yeah. Make sure you add spoiler warnings before you do that. Okay. Okay, Pauly D.
Yes.
What Murphy's just said. Okay, focus on what I said.
Okay.
So would it be fair to say that we can interpret the phrase gender as malleable, how you clarified it, and we can just say, one of the propositions communicated by that statement is that you can go from being a man to a woman, a woman to a man, right?
Uh-huh.
All right,
Okay,
so
and that's something that transgendered women
I'll
believe.
just wait my turn. I will go
Yes.
this
Okay,
way.
so we need to clarify something. It's important because people often then have different usages of gendered language. So in this case, when you use the phrase woman or man, what exactly are you referring to there? Like, just be specific here. Oh, that guy left. He was obviously a plant. Like,
Oh, thank God.
dude,
Plants.
It just
when I say
when
plant,
I
I just
say
mean he was
when
like
I say woman, I mean someone who is born with a woman's anatomy, and a man is someone who's born with a man's anatomy.
so like a vagina, fallopian tubes, the cervix, and so on.
Yes.
Okay. So you think that transgendered women believe that you can go from having a female anatomy to a male anatomy?
No, that's not what I was saying. I was saying that biologically, that's what I mean with that. You asked me what I mean by what I mean when I say man or woman, and that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Paul, you're
They
not
have the
tracking. You're not
meaning
tracking.
Look,
of-
You need to be
all
two
right,
steps
look,
ahead.
The
You
torch
need to
is
be two
being
steps
handed
ahead.
over to you, dude. Make sure you don't blow it out. Go ahead, Murphy's.
Yeah, but you're
Piece of
saying
shit.
you're saying
Go
that
ahead.
you're saying that all
Go
trans
ahead.
women believe that
Yeah, what
they
is he
can.
saying?
Yeah, well, he's saying that all trans women believe that they can go from being like a male to female.
Oh,
Why?
that's strange. That's weird. Isn't that true though,
Why?
Paul?
Why?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean.
I'll be.
So you're
Never
officially
mind.
you want.
No, I'm done. You go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll give you the
Yeah,
torch
sit
back.
down, motherfucker. Yeah, sit down. So, Pauly D, you
Yes.
agree? This is what you said, right? We're just repeating what you said earlier. So you said all transgendered women believe that you can go from being a woman to a man, or a man to a woman, both actually. But we'll just
Yeah.
focus on the second statement, a man to a woman, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're clarifying what is meant by the terms in the statement that you're saying they believe. And yeah, and you clarified that with the term man, you're designating a male anatomy, and with the term female, how do I fuck that up? With the term woman, you're designating a female anatomy.
Yes.
So, yeah, so the meaning of the statement, you can go from being a man to a woman, is that you can go from having a male anatomy to a female anatomy.
What?
Look, we'll go through this one more time. Actually, let's go through an example because maybe I don't know how this is. So when you give a statement and you clarify one of the terms in the statement, usually you can substitute the phrase that you clarified in for the term, and it's going to preserve truth value. Actually, that was a little bit complicated. Just let's say this instead. When you clarify a statement, you clarify the meaning of the statement, and so we're just clarifying what the new statement is in light of the clarification.
Well, you're asking me questions, and you told me not to clarify it. You really talking about my school.
Yeah,
and
look,
stuff.
maybe I did do that. I don't know. But let's just focus on what I'm doing right now, okay? So the
Maybe you
statement
should write
was,
it down. Maybe you should write it down.
why?
Well, it's easier for Polity to follow.
All right, nobody has to write
think-
down anything for me. Just what is.
Of course,
Well,
of
let's
course
do
they
it.
don't have to. Of course they don't have to, dude. I'm just saying it would help.
Wait, Pauly D, why not do that? It'll become more obvious, I think. So
Okay.
let's go to Let's just go to voice chat text, okay? Go there right now.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna type out the statement. The statement is, you can go from being a man to a woman. Okay, you see that?
No, I don't. Oh well, I see it, but I don't.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. And no, man is just a male anatomy.
Yes, and by male anatomy, yeah, I mean having a
That's the proper
penis,
spelling of
and
that.
then women's anatomy, I mean having a vagina. That's what I mean by those.
Okay, and that's fine. I mean, I would assume more is meant by anatomy,
Yeah.
but equals having a penis. A female anatomy.
I mean penis, and then I mean there's parts of a male anatomy that can be removed, like the testicles, right?
Yeah.
But these are like the main
Yeah.
parts, right?
As long as you have the main parts, right? That's all we need, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Sure.
Because you could
Sure.
still have, even if you have part of your male anatomy, you're still a guy. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
if you have it removed, whatever you're born with is still,
Okay, so it's just the anatomy that you're born with.
Oh, they believe they can change like the
Is it
past.
the
or something?
male anatomy? The side level. Look.
This is gonna be time travel shit. No?
Well, yeah. Let's just stop the spoilers, okay? Without the warnings.
Well, no, that's not what I really meant. I just meant anybody. I was talking about transgender people who like keep their anatomy, right? If this,
they're
it's-
not really people.
okay.
I mean,
So
Just don't just ignore the interruptions.
I would say cutting
But-
off like parts of your anatomy. That doesn't really matter. It's just what you're born with, right? Not all
Yeah,
transgender
that's
people
fine.
cut off their penises or their vaginas, whatever.
All right, dude.
But even if you cut it
Cool,
off,
so-
if you're born with it, you're born with it.
Yeah, that I understand what you're saying. So you're saying that the requirement or the belief or so what's meant by man or woman is the anatomy that you were born with. The male anatomy or the female anatomy, whatever that you were born with, right?
Yes.
Okay, well we should write it down just to make sure that we've got a record here, and you can look back on it. Okay?
all right.
Okay, but I mean, it could be more than that. I would say it's just sort of a dumbed down explanation of it, but I mean, it also could be the XX chromosomes, XY chromosomes,
Yeah, you could do
Okay,
that.
well, we can include that. Like whatever you want to include is fine. It's fine with me. Okay. So being
Alright.
born with a male anatomy and
What are you-
have XY chromosomes.
What are you writing down? How fucking cringe is that, dude?
Oh,
Well,
come on, dude.
I'm about to go read.
Is it?
Is-
Why is that cringe?
Because these are extremely simple terms that are consistently always used for the same fucking thing.
What?
Like the point of
we-
I'll just
We should
I'll
just
just
stop
go
with the
to-
crying. We just stop with the crying.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's super cringe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
What do you
Yeah.
mean by cringe?
send him. Just send him.
cringe. That's
Mhm.
what he means.
Yeah,
Mhm.
physically cringe.
Anyway, so the message that I typed, the most recent one, Pauly D, look at that. That's accurate, right? More or less.
I would
Okay.
say so. So I would say, yeah, being born with it, yeah.
And woman, we can just say is basically the same thing, but with female anatomy and
Yes.
XX chromosome.
Excuse me.
So I could see what you're gonna be doing here. You're gonna say, oh, you're saying this and this. In a few minutes, you're gonna be saying something like that, and then you're gonna say, oh, look back at this. You said this, right? That's what I assume. Writing this stuff is down.
Are we gonna? Yeah. So the point of writing it down is to make sure we have something to reference and we can read it out, right? That's important.
Right.
Yeah, I would say that's important just to make sure everybody's on the same page in a conversation. Yeah. So you also said that all transgendered women believe that you can go from being a man to a woman. And
yes,
we
that's
just
how they're transgender. They wouldn't be transgender if
yeah,
they thought
yeah.
otherwise.
Yep. And look, it's also going to be important. Actually, we already wrote it down. So now, given that we know what the term man and woman means in the sentence, we can just substitute. We can just substitute the terms for how you clarified them, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So the statement that they believe is that you're saying that transgender women believe is that you can go from being born with a male anatomy and having XY chromosomes to being born with a female anatomy and having XX chromosomes. That's what you think all transgender women believe, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
That's what?
Yeah. Wait. Even okay. I'm glad
Hold
we
up.
got minority.
I'm so tired.
Me personally.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's get
Dude, you
some
gotta
reactions.
speak a little
Wait,
faster. I would
Pauly D.
say, but what I heard was you're talking about the male anatomy, and a man is male anatomy and XY chromosomes, right? I'm sorry, dude. It's literally Saturday
Pauly D.
where I
Pauly
am
D.
right now, so
Pauly D.
I'm tired. It's middle of the
I'm gonna
morning.
give you a warning, okay? I'm gonna caution you a little bit. So I foresee that there's gonna be some backpedaling here, and I'm just saying it's dangerous to backpedal. You might fall off your bike. Okay, make sure that you're safe whenever you do that.
All right.
Now I want to get some so it's some people in the chat had some interesting reactions, especially the minority guy. So I want to make sure we got everybody's reactions down to that. So he said,
It's
let me just
the
repeat it.
username.
Huh?
He was talking about the username. The
Yeah,
guy with the
minority.
username.
Minority 3/5.
Oh, okay.
We'll just say Milk. We'll just say Milk then. If referring to your username is better. So Pauly D believes that all transgendered. 1 second. Pauly D believes that all transgendered women believe that you can go from being born with a male anatomy and having XY chromosomes to being born with a female anatomy and having XX chromosomes.
Which is fucking impossible, but
well, look, just don't focus on whether or not you think it's impossible. The state it being true is impossible. Just focus on whether or not it's plausible that all transgender women actually believe that. So, Jason Quill, when you look at that proposition, do you actually think everybody who's transgendered and claiming to be a woman believes that?
I mean, I wouldn't say like not the whole like majority, but
look, I'm saying everybody. So maybe there's like one or maybe you have like the unicorn transgender woman who believes that. I don't know, but I'm talking about everybody. Okay. So when you look at that proposition, do you really think that's that's plausible at all? Just be honest. Give me your raw thoughts, okay?
well, like possible the fact that like they think that they could just
Not look. You're
Where's the
not
slow? You're slow
yeah,
and you're
we're moving on.
you have to like be fast. Okay.
I think
you have to pay attention to.
transgender is
Stop
either an untreated mental illness or
Okay.
it's just something
Nobody's
people
asking you.
do.
Nobody's
All right,
asking
like
you.
repeat it again. All right.
No.
Repeat it again.
You'll hear it when I talk to the other guy. Okay, minority or Milk. I'll
Yeah.
By the way, just talk to Pauly D.
Why would I talk to Pauly D? He's already doubled down. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Wait, Pauly D, you think every trans woman believes that like, you can like magically just change like all the chromosomes in your cells from XY to XY to XX? That just seems ridiculous.
No,
man.
they think that gender's malleable and whatever they identify as could be whatever they want it to be.
Well, you gotta watch the
putting on like a dress makes them a woman.
Wait, hold on. We already clarified. Wait, but just 1 second. We already clarified that what it means to say gender is malleable is that you could change all the cells in your body from XY to XX.
I did not say that.
Oh, I thought that was the whole thing we went through. Do you don't remember?
No.
Look, what it means for gender to be malleable is that you can go from being a man to a woman and vice versa. That's what gender is malleable means. Basically, how you
Gender is malleable, meaning that people think that what they identify as is malleable, that they could just change from being a man to a woman.
Yeah,
based on
exactly.
What they identify as. That's what I mean by malleable. I don't think they have to change their chromosomes, which I'm pretty sure is physically impossible. You know,
the belief. Look, we can just make that's fine. So the simple change to make, is that it's true that you're a man or a woman, just in virtue of the belief that you have.
Yeah, malleable meaning their identity.
Virtue of the what?
They
Why
think
is
that
this
they're
guy going
malleable.
back on
Their
what he said?
identity is malleable.
But you said
maybe he was. I'm just gonna be honest. Maybe he was misinterpreted. I just kind of went with whatever you summarized him saying. But you think he's going back on what he said?
Yeah, wait. I thought you said that what it means for gender to be malleable is that you can go from being a man to a woman, and from a woman to a man, and vice versa, right?
What I meant by that is that what people identify is, because people usually identify as a man or a woman, and they think that it's, when people are transgender, they think that they could just change
So it's
it,
a no.
just
So it's a
by
no.
their
It's a
pure
no.
what they identify themselves as, and that's what I mean by malleable. They think that they could just, if they
So,
decide to,
Pauly
they
D,
can be a.
I look. There's
That's
something
what I mean.
important to
You
say
can't
here.
change your
Pauly D,
chromosomes.
stop.
I never
Pauly
meant
D.
that.
Pauly D,
I'm
relax,
saying
calm
that's
down,
not
calm
even,
down.
like,
Now,
the
remember
thing
what I
that-
said at the beginning?
So
I said, don't talk away from, like, this is important, okay? I said,
Don't talk away.
Don't talk away from the question, okay? Remember that? Remember what I said that? That's what you want to avoid, and that's what you did just now.
I answered your
Jesus
question.
Christ, are you a
No,
fucking
like-
freshman in 101 debate? You are such a cringe lord, dude.
Oh.
I bet you fucking
anyways,
literally watch
calm
history.
down, relax. It doesn't
Let's
matter.
relax,
this.
guys. Let's relax.
Who are
Let's
you
relax.
talking to?
Who do you think I'm talking to? The cringe lord
It
who's
doesn't matter
writing
what you
things
think
down
about
because
me.
he's a
Yeah, let's say
freshman in 101
I'm a
debate.
freshman. Yeah, that's true. I'm a freshman. I've taken
Yeah,
these couple classes.
Yeah,
It's
I
all good
never
stuff.
like.
Now let's
It's not gonna make
let's
your
get
professor
back
like
to-
you.
My professor hates me, bro. Now let's get back
I
to
understand
the,
why.
Yeah, everybody understands why. Now, can we just get back to the question, Murphy's? It was a yes or no. Just repeat the question.
Yeah. So are you saying that someone could go? What it means to believe that gender is malleable? That just means that someone could decide to go from like a male from like a woman to man and vice versa.
Yes, so believing that gender is malleable, right, means that someone thinks they can change their gender based on what they identify as.
Yeah.
right?
So someone could go from being a woman to a man.
God
That's
damn it, bro.
that's what transgender people think, right? They
Yeah.
think it is malleable.
Okay.
And I don't agree with that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't agree with that neither. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
the science would like play a part in this. So, like, are we even going to like bring
What-
science
what?
in this at all?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Knife. Grant you permission. I give you permission to speak. Go ahead.
But
Jim Warren. I just zoned out. Just recap. What happened?
I know, like, I'm just asking, like,
Look, Jason, stop. Jason.
Oh, he's saying that what it means for someone to believe that gender is malleable is that you can go from being a man to a woman if you want to.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Now that was a very simple, basic change, a basic altercation. Now everything else is the same, right? When you say man, what you're referring to is the anatomy. If you were born with the male anatomy and you have XY chromosomes, that's also
I would say
still the case, right? Yeah, and woman is just the analog of that. Okay. Yeah. So if you just substitute what you clarified the term meant for the term, then the statement is that at your will you can go from being born with a male anatomy and having XY chromosomes to being born with a female anatomy and having XX chromosomes. And that's the statement you think.
That's the thing that made it
all
more reasonable.
transgenders can believe.
Yes.
That's
And
the
that
thing.
was the clarification.
I'm
that
trying
was
to
the
be as
important clarification.
This is actually.
That
I'm trying
was
to be nice here, but it doesn't get any more simple than that. That's what I think.
Okay, all right.
That's what made it more reasonable, right? Before it was like you can change it somehow, like maybe they think they can change it with surgery. Now it's like it's at will.
Me? I didn't say that.
Look, all knows whatever. I'm like
So
a big sis.
look, I just
I
want to
didn't
make
say
sure
that. I
that
didn't say that once.
you actually. I want to make sure you understand what you're saying, because maybe like you said it was late at night or whatever, and maybe you're just saying a bunch of words you don't understand what's being said to you. So I'll repeat it.
You keep repeating stuff over and over again. So I just
yeah, it's important. It's important. You said you weren't paying attention earlier. You said it was late at
just
night.
repulsively said okay or whatever.
Okay, so you think all transgendered women believe that at their will they can go from being born with a male anatomy and having XY chromosomes to being born with a female anatomy and having XX chromosomes? That's what you're saying, right?
They think that
they're false
gender
belief.
is malleable.
Yes,
it's a false belief that they can change their identity, by just identifying as a woman. Or they think that they'll officially become a woman by throwing on a dress or something, which is also just identifying, really.
Okay, and by woman, we're talking about being born with a female anatomy and you have X chromosomes. So you're saying that transgendered women believe that if they identify as a woman, then it's going to be true that they're born with female anatomy and they have X.
It's just that people have a different definition of a woman or a man than me.
So maybe
some
you're
people think being a
equivocating, right?
woman is just being feminine, right? And so it's what some people might see it as, but me,
there are different definitions out there. I understand.
Yeah, that's not their definition of it. That's my definition of it.
Wait, guys. You guys talk.
All right, Speedy, calm down. You're next up, Speedy. I saw your post in the chat. You're next up, dude. But we got to finish with this person. So, Pauly D.
Yes.
Now, maybe at this point, you're realizing that you're just equivocating on the term woman. And when it comes out of a transgendered woman's mouth, it means completely different from what you just quoted me. I assume that's what you're realizing right now. But that was like the...
I got no clue what you're talking about. What
do you know what an equivocation is?
Can I wait? What are you guys talking
Speedy,
about?
I've heard it.
You'll learn it. Look, Speedy, you'll learn the topic by listening. Okay, so sit down.
To conceal the truth.
So
Dude, you say this for everything I say. You say I'm drawing away from the question. So you don't actually believe anymore, just to be clear. You don't believe that all transgendered women have the false belief that at their will they can... Transgender women...
As long as they identify as
women being someone being a man and going and transitioning to a woman.
You can't transition into
well, it's kind of like
Speedy, calm down.
The equivocation
yeah,
thing
I don't
is
agree with that either, Speedy.
Well, I just wanted to make sure. I want to make sure that he agrees that there's no false belief before you do the equivocation thing, because that's like the very end. You usually do that. Anyway, Pauly D. So you don't actually think, just based on your self-reflection right now, okay, that you did. You don't actually think that transgender women, all transgender women, believe that at their will, or just based on what they identify, if they identify as a woman, that they're gonna be born with female anatomy and they're gonna have X chromosomes, right?
They don't think that. They have a different definition of it. They don't. Nobody thinks that they'll have XX chromosomes if they put on a dress. Okay, nobody thinks that.
Yeah. So
okay.
Pauly D. So now you're realizing.
I think that
what you
nobody
said,
else thinks that.
So you think
now
that people can change?
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Murphy's.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. Because he said no one thinks that. I think that. And what he was referencing is you can like change your chromosomes by putting on a dress. But maybe he misspoke.
So you agreed.
Because the definition of a man or a woman is different, especially for people who are transgender. They just think that it's whatever. They think being a woman is wearing a dress. I don't think that's what it is.
I'm going to bring up something important, Pauly D. So we're going to... So I'm going to explain to you what an equivocation is, because that's going to help you out.
Wait, before we do that, can I just say something?
It's use of language to conceal the truth. And
now
saying that for
everything
I'm saying.
Pauly D, I know you just Googled it, but I'm going to give you a different explanation. Go ahead, Murphys.
Well, so Pauly D, you're saying that they have you're still saying they have a false belief, right?
Yes.
And you're saying
that for Pepper saying that in voice chat tech, that's not what I meant. That's something I'm saying that's something I disagree with. Wearing a dress.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And look, so you're saying that when they say women, they could have a different definition in mind, right?
Yeah, I would say, but I still don't agree with that.
Wait one sec. But you agree that the proposition.
People have different definitions
someone can change
of a man or a woman, but
I understand.
I understand.
But look,
you know what? You guys are using equivocations. You guys are saying all this weird like.
Wait,
sort of
just one
stuff.
second. Just one second.
Stop, dude.
Yeah,
Use that word.
listen. One
I don't
second.
know what it means.
It means use of language to conceal the truth.
Wait, so wait. What do you like call knife guy? I got a question. What do you? So you guys are just talking
before. Wait, hold on, Speedy, hold on. Just calm down.
Knife girl.
Wait, 1 second. Let's just be clear. Like something like you can go from being a man into a woman. You understand that that's gonna be true or false depending on the definition, right?
No, it's gonna be.
Wait, Pauly D.
Yes.
Yeah. So you agree the statement could be true if I define women as like doctor and man as like an engineer, and I say you can go from being like from a man to a woman, and what I mean by that is you can go from being a doctor to an engineer. Like that's true, right?
Yes,
you
but
can't
your
go from
career has nothing to do with gender. You can change your career, but
Okay.
you can't change your
I don't think
gender.
he's saying it has anything to do with gender. I think he's just giving you an example of what he's trying to explain it to you in a way that would make sense, but it's still retarded.
Wait,
Yeah.
so
The
you understand?
equivocation thing,
Okay,
guys.
okay.
Look up the definition.
You're not understanding.
Use of
Wait,
language
Pauly D,
to
you're not
conceal the
understanding,
truth.
dude. You're not understanding.
That's literally exactly what it says on Google.
Oh my god, why is it so hard to talk to you, Pauly D? Look.
Can you guys? Okay.
Wait, no, Speedy, stop. You understand if I say if a trans woman says you can go from being a man into a woman, if she means by that something like if by man she means someone who's a doctor and by woman she means someone who's like a lawyer, you understand the statement you can go from a man to a woman is true at that point, right? If what's meant by it just is you can go from being like a doctor to an engineer.
Can we
Right?
actually have like
Let
an
Pauly
actual
D,
conversation
please,
about this
shut the
instead
fuck
of
up,
you
man.
getting? Fuck you.
Pauly D,
Before you if you explain what a fallacy of equivocation is, it'll be clearer.
Yeah, well, he like looked it up, and now he has like this other. So we're gonna say the schmivication fallacy, and there's no definition on Google for that. So we're gonna explain that word to you, okay? And we're gonna accuse you of doing a schmivication. So, whatever association you have with the word equivocation, because you just Googled it, and now you're like committed to this kind of new definition. But just focus on
new definition. That's what it says on Google. The use of ambiguous language to conceal the truth. It doesn't get any more simpler than that.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
not important. That's not important. That doesn't matter.
Look,
dude, give me a break.
Can we move? Can we move on to something serious because this is retarded?
All right. So what?
No wonder why. No wonder why
that you're engaging in, Pauly D, is you're using a term in a different way, in a different sense, and a term that has a different meaning than when the term is used by transgendered women or by somebody else. So let's take an example of what the fallacious reasoning is. Okay. So if I say, "Wow, I'm going out with Sally tonight. We're going to the baseball game," and you happen to have a cousin named Sally, but I'm talking about Sally down the street, and you're talking, and the cousin you have named Sally lives in like California or something, a long time away. And then you say, how are you going to do that? She has to fly over, and you're never going to have enough time. What's happened in this case is that we mean different things with the term Sally, and you're misinterpreting the term Sally when it comes out of my mouth. I'm not referring to the same thing that you think that I'm referring to, right?
What are you referring to that I'm misinterpreting?
I don't know. What do you mean?
You keep saying, I'm using equivocations. What?
Wait.
What equivocations am I using here?
But wait, I don't think you want to say reference, right? You're talking about sense, not reference.
Guys, can we have an actual trans debate instead of talking about an equivocation?
Look, the term, when I use the term reference, okay, now you're equivocating, Jason, because when I use the term reference, I was just talking about sense in this context.
Okay, but he should be aware that you're talking about sense when you say reference.
Let me clear this up. I think the equivocation he was talking about, Pauly D, is when he's talking about
Speedy, calm down. So.
Okay, I'm trying to explain it so we can clear things up so we can move on, okay?
I don't know that you understand it, though. So
listen,
so I understand
equivocation, I think he's
what
trying to say.
What this word means now, okay? Okay, I understand what the definition means now. Okay, but
Paul,
what
No, look,
equivocation
all right,
was I
repeat it.
using?
Okay, you
This
were
is- this is-
equivocating on the term woman.
This is what I was trying to explain.
Okay.
He says that you think, or like when he says woman, your mind goes to XX chromosomes when he's talking about something else, Paulie.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what do you think a woman is, Knife Guy?
It doesn't matter. Look, we're talking about his view, so let's focus on what he's saying. So
I'm actually talking about yours because I just asked you.
yeah, it's not important. It's not
What?
related.
Well, it is
Why?
important because I'm
Why
asking
is
you.
it important?
That's not the
This is a
conversation right
discussion.
now.
No, but we're
Hey.
moving the conversation towards there.
No.
Wait,
Look,
but we haven't resolved. We
No,
haven't resolved.
we are.
No, you don't want the, you don't want the smoke, do you?
We
You
just
don't want the
resolved the
smoke.
equivocation issue. We
You don't want the
explained it to
smoke.
him, and it
we
makes sense.
didn't. We're not done yet.
You ain't the boss here, Knife. All right.
The issue, see, what the issue is that what was asked was the question: do trans people suffer from a delusion? Do they have delusional beliefs? Right? Do all trans
Some of
people
them.
have delusional? Well, I think
Some
originally
of
asked.
them are just giving into peer pressure.
Well, I thought he got you to agree that all trans people share a delusional belief. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess,
So,
but some of it could just be being trendy, right? Seeing this.
Paulie D, stop. That's
He's doing
not related.
And
All right, go ahead. What do you understand to be happening, Jason?
kind of is. It's
well, no, I was
you know
just saying
what
that
you would
what's the
define as
issue-
being transgender, wouldn't it?
No, but see,
it is related.
The point of the investigation, right, is to see whether the claim that they all suffer from this belief stands up to scrutiny, right? And so when Holy did, what name is Holy using here?
Knife.
Say it again.
You can call me Knife if you want.
Knife, yeah. So when Knife did the co-substitution of, well, I don't want to say co-referring. When he did the co-substitution of terms that have the same meaning, right? It looks like what the belief that you were attributing to trans people was actually highly implausible. And that's why it's not relevant. That's why it's not relevant what Knife's view of what a woman is, because he never made the claim that trans people were delusional. Right? We're just trying to figure out, or what Knife and Murphy are trying to figure out is it actually the case that trans people suffer from a delusion consistently? And what is that delusional belief? I think that's the basic idea.
Give me
You're lagging
Cutting
out.
out.
Brand said in the chat, it doesn't get any more simpler than that. Paulie DE. Yeah.
That they can change their gender, but doesn't that fall afoul of the problem of the co-substitution? Fall afoul of the problem of the substitution of terms that have the same meaning?
You don't got to use the word substitution, but
what he did was he translated what you said the meaning of the word gender was, right? And when he put in that translation, it looked like you were attributing you had a highly implausible view of what trans people could believe.
Then what do they believe if they don't believe they can't change their gender?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out, right? Like you offered a proposal, and it doesn't look like that proposal is surviving logical scrutiny. I think that's more or less what Knife and Murphy are saying.
So no one can change their gender. Gender is based on your anatomy and your chromosomes. What
we're just
is
talking about the definition, right? Because we're substituting the meaning of a term for the term, which is to say we're substituting the definition of a term for the term. So if you need to give a definition that when that's plugged in to the word gender in what Knife wrote down, you don't end up attributing to trans people a belief that they couldn't plausibly be thought to hold.
Well,
I think maybe he's breaking up. I think it might be a problem with your connection.
Yeah.
You got a problem with your connection.
There.
Can we just talk about what he likely is saying? Like, he's just going off. Like, he doesn't even pay attention. Just listen to what he's saying.
Well, he probably can't hear us. He probably can't
Whatever,
hear us.
it, yeah. Sort of. Yeah, hold on a second. All right, I'm back.
Oh,
Hey,
we'll
what's
come
so
back.
fun?
Did you hear everything that you were being told?
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Well, I don't know. Do you think you can explain everything? Do you get the basic idea?
So you're saying it is a logical fallacy. It doesn't make sense, but I'm having a difficult time understanding. Like what do you mean? How?
I didn't understand what he just said.
He said.
Wait.
He said that what Jason Lee Scott was telling him was just it's a logical fallacy. That's what he understood.
And what is he talking? What's the logical fallacy? I just want to make sure he's on the same page as everybody else here.
The logical fallacy that you're saying that I am talking about. What is that specifically?
Look,
What is it that I'm saying that is contradictory? That doesn't make sense.
No, nobody's saying a contradiction is not yet, at least. Maybe in the future, I don't know. Nobody's
All right, that
saying a
doesn't make sense.
But
What
look,
am I saying?
what we would say is you're committing the fallacy of equivocation. But what you do then is you go to
No. It's not equivocation.
All right, go. Well, so what are you accusing him of?
No, you were accusing him of schmiquivocation.
Yeah, the reason I said that is because what happens is he just Googles the term, and he's married to the first sentence that he reads about what equivocation is. And
I understand that, but you're equivocating now.
All right, that's fine. I'm sorry for equivocating, Jason. So
if that is a definition of it, and you're denying that is a definition, you're equivocating too, right?
No, it's a definition. That's fine. It's a definition.
But you were denying
you
that,
another.
right?
I'm gonna give you another. I'm gonna give
You
you
were doing
another.
the same thing as me, weren't you?
Stop.
You saw one definition on the internet, and you were married to that term, but yet there was a whole nother meaning to it.
Stop. I'm just trying to. Just let me get out a sentence, dude. Come on. So what I'm gonna do is
you were doing the same thing as me. You go.
So yeah, I'm just trying to explain to you that there's a fallacy that you're committing, and we're gonna use the label schmivication for this fallacy. Okay, and I'm gonna try to walk you through what the fallacy is.
Okay.
So a schmivication happens in a dispute only if there's a term in the dispute which has the same symbols, but there's a different sense. Okay, there's a different meaning when the term is used in two or more instances. And as a result, the dispute becomes a verbal dispute. Now, that was a little bit, I'm not sure that was totally clear to you if you don't have a background in philosophy, but did you understand the basic idea of what I just said?
So you're saying it's a verbal as in like what?
Well, maybe you could give an example. Maybe you can give an example.
Sure.
I like it that Murphy says things twice. He says things twice.
Yeah, I like that.
Me too.
Thanks.
I like he really emphasizes things when he does that.
Me too.
I like that too. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna have to turn down some people if we get this train of memes every time that something happens. And we're gonna start with laws. Okay. Next offense laws. Your next offense.
Calm down.
We're gonna mute you, laws.
Laws is cool. Just give the example. Give the example.
Don't talk, laws. So the example, I'll just repeat what I said earlier, and we're going to use the term sense instead of reference to accommodate somebody's concern here. So if I come to you and I say, I've met this fantastic girl, her name is Sally, and we're going to the baseball game tonight. And then you look at this statement and you say, no, that's not true. You know, Sally lives in California, which is, let's just suppose, across the globe.
Ooh, are we doing Phil Lang? That's good.
Oh my, look, stop.
No, keep going. Keep going. No, I'm not.
So, where are these people coming from? Okay, so what's happening in this case is this is a verbal dispute because the people who are being talked about with the term Sally when it comes out of your mouth and my mouth are different people, right?
Okay.
Are you still
waiting for
fucking
what I
equivocation?
said, what I'm talking about that you think doesn't make sense? I'm still waiting on that.
Wait, but let me just clarify. Let me just clarify or stress a point that Knife made. So what he's saying is that when you have a disagreement over meaning, what's sometimes called a semantic dispute, that means that they don't really actually have different beliefs, right? All they're doing is using terms to mean two different things.
Okay, so in that case, Knife, do you think someone who is born with a male anatomy can put on a dress and say they are a woman?
See, this is what I was explaining before, why his beliefs aren't relevant, right? What we're trying to do,
they're not relevant.
Yeah.
Wait,
because see,
no. If he's saying if he's calling it an equivocation, it is relevant.
No, because we're just proceeding on the basis of what Pauly D said.
Yeah,
right?
but if
And
Pauly D's saying that a woman is someone who has XX chromosomes, is born with a female anatomy, and Sally's and Knife is saying
tolerating this guy. Speedy, stop talking.
How are we tolerating you?
Buddy.
You're like loopholing
Yeah,
this, right? Just answer the
no.
question.
I left for 10 minutes because my fucking headset died.
Please relax. Please
You're
relax.
still talking about the
Sir, calm down.
Can a person with a male
calm down.
All right, wait. Let's just
That's a woman knife.
try to get. Let's just try to get.
Answer the question. I've answered all your questions for the past 28
No.
minutes.
That's
Answer one question from me.
Sir,
One.
calm down.
The easy question here is, Knife, what do you think a woman is? And then
That's irrelevant.
You're misunderstanding. This is what I tried to explain before.
Because we're supposed to give all the answers, and you're supposed to ignore all the questions.
Wait, let me say one thing.
I'm not trying to crucify you. Look, I'm just trying to explain what the point of the exercise is.
I know, but you can't keep saying that we hold a different belief and not tell us what your belief is.
Yeah, that's so unfair. We've been answering you all night, and you refuse to answer one question.
Wait, you're not understanding.
Sir, you're getting a bit upset.
See, the point is, what Knife and Murphy did was ask people if they thought that trans people were delusional, right? That's not Knife and Murphy have expressed no opinion on that matter, right? They just asked people if they believed that trans people were delusional, right? And so a number of people said, yes, trans people are delusional. So the point of the exercise is to see if we can figure out if that's true by figuring out what delusion can be plausibly attributed to trans people, right? And you made a proposal, right? And it's a perfectly reasonable proposal at first pass, right? But the point is, when scrutinized by using this method of substituting the meaning of the term for the term, you end up with a highly implausible attribution. And
What
that
did
just
I
means
substitute? What did I change? What did I say that doesn't make sense? So I'm still waiting on that.
Oh, okay. Well, Murphy, would you? I'm sorry, Knife. Would you repeat the sentence with the substitution so he can see why that's implausible?
Yeah. So the sentence with taking into account what he clarified is that all transgendered women believe that you can go from being born with the male anatomy and XY chromosomes to being born with a female anatomy and XX chromosome.
At will.
Yeah, at will.
Change
Sorry.
your anatomy.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
It's at
That
will. Based on their, yeah.
Are you saying that I think trans people think they can change their anatomy? Is that what you think I'm saying?
Well, further, right? You're saying they can change their anatomy at will. There's a further thing that you
No,
No, not just change their anatomy. Change the anatomy that they were born with.
No,
yeah.
I don't think they believe that. Why would I
But
believe
that's-
that?
But look, that's what's entailed by your position
All
once
right,
we do
look,
the substitution, right?
Stop. We're gonna interrupt. We can't have
Are you
10
serious?
people explain the same point. We're gonna look.
I
all
don't
right,
think you could surgically attach different someone's anatomy onto yours. You guys
No,
really
but the
thought
point-
I
what you're
thought that?
saying is-
Look, that's not the point. Look, it's
I'm
that
interrupting
once
you
you
all for a
do,
good reason, okay? We're not gonna have everybody explain the exact same point. We're gonna do just one person, okay? Jason, do you want to
he's not
continue?
getting it.
No, but okay, so look, if you're saying that gender means, right, some set of biological
Right.
or anatomical facts that one
That
is
you are born with.
right, then you're attributing to them the belief that they can change the anatomical facts that they were born with to a new set of anatomical facts that they are born with. So they can.
No,
It's not
they
just
cannot change it.
no, but that's the belief you're attributing to them. And what we're saying is that that's highly implausible that they could possibly believe that. I mean, they might be delusional, but surely that's not what they believe, right?
I would say the ones that do believe that are delusional.
Okay, but I don't think Murphy and Knife are trying to deny that some trans people might be delusional, right? They're raising a question about whether it's correct to say that if you're a trans person, necessarily you're under some kind of delusion.
Delusion might not be the right word, but I would just call him stupid anyways.
Wait, just to also be clear, I want to. We're not. He didn't make a claim about necessity, right? He
Stupid
could
or
say. Well, he
Well, I
could.
thought it was supposed to be essential that they. Oh, I see. You're
No,
saying
it's
that
just all
they might
people, right?
all have
It
the
could
So you're
belief
saying if I
contingently, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
They might all
yeah.
have that
If he
belief.
wants to say it's just a synthetic. Yeah, if he wants to say it's
I
just
see. I
synthetic.
see what you're
Well,
saying.
the point is that like both options are open. Like they could just be like a necessary belief, or it could just be a synthetic belief.
Yeah. We haven't clarified one way or the other.
So I would say man and male is really the same thing, and woman and female is the same thing. I don't think there's a difference between that, okay?
Look, dude, you've been like
Is that a
spoon-fed.
semantic claim?
This has been spoon-fed to you for like how long now?
You might want to clarify what you mean by that question, Detroyer.
Are you saying, yeah, so like,
So
someone's
would
rolling.
woman is malleable? No,
Polydester, you're roboting.
me. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right. What do people think the best way to get this guy to understand it is?
Detroyer had a question.
When
Yeah,
he says that male, he's roboting.
I think he's.
Well, I want to hear. Just repeat the question. Just
Yeah.
say the question anyway. I want to hear it.
Well, the question is when he says that male and man are or denote the same thing or something like that. Is that a claim about what the terms mean? Right. That it's a matter of you could just analyze what the terms mean, and it's necessary. It follows that they're going to denote the same thing if they denote anything at all, or is it just some contingent identification of what is man and what is male?
You're gonna have to. I think you're gonna have to make that in more layman's language. Maybe give an example of the distinction between an analytic claim and a synthetic claim, so he'll understand what you're getting at.
Well,
sure.
Let's before we do that, Pauly D, can you hear everybody right now?
Yeah, I could hear everybody. Yeah.
What is he? Is he still roboting or no?
No, I think he sounded okay.
Okay, so if you wanted to say that they were, it's a matter of like the meanings of the terms that they denote the same thing if they denote anything at all. A common, classic example is something like a vixen is a female fox, and that's not going to be some like empirical discoverable fact. It's something about the way those terms are used, right? Vixen is just another word for a female fox, another phrase for a female fox.
Okay. So you're saying these words aren't real, right?
Well,
They're just constructed.
No. That's not the point at all. I'm wondering if when you say male and man are the same thing, you mean it in that same way, right? In the sense that it's a matter of meaning that they pick out the same thing, right? It's just another word. Male is another word for man or something like that. Or are you saying that we have these two different words?
Gender and sex is the same thing. Male and man is the same thing.
And that's, you think that we mean like the same things by those terms?
Well, give him the
yes, they are synonyms. They mean the same thing.
But before you commit to that, give him the alternative so he understands the contrast that you're trying to draw.
Right. So another a possible alternative, a classic one is water and H2O. We want to say that it's true that water is H2O, but it's not a matter of the meaning of the term. Plausibly, they're not interchangeable so far as what we mean by the terms. It's in other words, it was a discovery that water had that chemical structure in a way that it wasn't a discovery that a female fox is a vixen. And this is what we might mean by a synthetic identity, is something that doesn't follow from the meanings of the terms, but all the same is true, right? Water is H2O. Now, I wonder, you could say the same thing here, that man and male don't mean the same thing, but they happen to pick out the same individuals or property or whatever it is that they pick out. And it seems like you're saying, no, it's not this contingent identification, but it's a matter of the meanings of the terms. They really just are synonyms. They mean the same thing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have I made myself clear?
Yes.
Yeah, but then at that point, you're going to be making a very controversial semantic claim that people, whatever the relevant linguistic community is, mean the same things by man and male. And certainly, if you're going to attribute irrationality or delusion to trans people, it just seems on its face absurd to think that they in fact mean the same things by man and male. So you're either going to have to say they really, contrary to what appears obvious, they do mean the same thing, or you could say that they're using the terms in a sort of unorthodox way, but that's not going to show irrationality or delusion. It's just going to show that they have a unorthodox usage of the terms.
Okay,
I would say.
I see, but being transgender, right? You believe that what you were born as is not true. You look, your own anatomy. You look at it,
confused.
And you think this is. I wasn't supposed to be born this way. I'm not happy in my own body.
All right,
that
look,
is a delusion.
I think that's a very
Can we give an example?
Wow.
Look, I don't understand why Detroit is going this way. He wasn't asked. Look, maybe you came in late. I guess you did.
Yeah, I just joined a couple minutes ago.
We're just, yeah. What happened? Well, let me just. What happened is he used the term man and the term woman, and we were figuring out what he means by those terms. Now, maybe, yeah. So we weren't talking about the conventional usage, or
as I define them.
Yeah, as you personally define them, however you. Yeah. So if he were giving some kind of answer along the lines of, well, it just happens to be the case that when I use the term woman, it aligns with this other usage or something, then you just didn't answer the question that you were asked. Because you were asked, what?
Sorry, I just want to be clear. What I was getting at the end there, because I thought he was attributing irrationality or delusion to trans people.
Yeah, that's
on
true.
The basis of what they say about their gender versus their sex. And if that irrationality depends on their claims about their maleness or manness, as he is using the terms, right, and on which they're synonyms, that's just going to be implausible. That they actually are using them in the same way, and so can be.
I'm glad you.
Can I ask a question?
I would think that individuals who say they are born in the wrong body are delusional.
Okay. Can I ask a question to Polly?
Yeah, you got it. Believe they're born in the wrong body, but it comes with a bunch of stuff, with mental breakdowns, right, and all this sort of stuff. It's genuinely, it's terrible that someone has to be born that way and go through that.
You can have a mental breakdown and not be delusional.
Wait, Polly. Just to be clear, Polly, you agree that like when trans people are saying they're women, they probably mean something else by women than what you mean, right?
I would say what they
Polly
mean by
D,
woman.
why are you answering for Polly D?
Because he
Polly.
wasn't responding.
Yes.
Yes, they mean something else, right? Right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
we have differing definitions, and I
Right,
think that should
right.
have been obvious.
So let's just take an example. Let's say I have a friend called John, and John owns like a car that's called like a Mustang, okay?
Right.
And then Paul comes to me and says, I have a Mustang. And I look at him and I say, let's say I take Mustang to mean a horse, like the Mustang horse. And then I'm trying to show that Paul is delusional. Because I tell him, like, look, you're saying you own a horse. You clearly don't own a horse. You don't have a stable. And I just go, you understand that in this case, it's not enough for me to just show that he doesn't have a horse to show that he's delusional. I'm gonna have to like figure out how
I
he's
think
using the
it's
term.
delusional because people look at their own anatomy and deny it, and I think that's delusional.
No, but the
And
point is,
it's
you
mental
need to look at.
breakdown.
No, but wait,
It's to be
you need
defined as a disorder that you need to seek mental help for.
Wait,
Not
but
the
you
same
need-
as a car and a horse.
Wait, no, but you need to understand the point of the
You're
example.
denying the basic reality of your own anatomy right in front of you.
Wait, we can get to that, but we need to be clear on what Murphy's example is, right? The point is, he can't just attribute to him the belief that he owns a horse when he says, I own a Mustang, right? You can't attribute that belief to him just on that basis because we need to figure out what he means by a Mustang. And if when he says I own a Mustang, he doesn't necessarily mean he owns the horse that's called, the type of horse that's labeled Mustang, right? He might actually own the make of car, right? That's called a Mustang.
Okay.
And so that's why it's important to understand what the person who you're possibly attributing a delusional belief to means by the terms that they use in the expressions that allow us to infer a delusional belief from.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I mean,
so-
men and women, cannot be changed, and
Wait, that's
how you were
something
born,
else.
if you're
That's something
born.
else, Polly. That's something else.
The
Let's
gender
just
you're assigned at
Holy
birth
shit.
cannot be changed. Okay.
wait, just Polly, 1 second.
And
You
we have
understand?
different
You understand?
meanings of the terms.
You understand that in this case,
You guys haven't
for me
gave
to
your
say,
meaning yet.
for me to say that
We do
Paul
that
is
first?
delusional, for me to say that Paul is delusional, you understand that I'm gonna have to understand what he means by Mustang, right?
Yeah, so can we give both of the definitions?
Okay,
Because if
wait,
you say,
wait,
if you guys are saying,
wait,
if you guys
I'm
are
still
saying,
waiting
no,
for
wait,
your guys'
if you, no, fuck
Speed,
you. If you guys are
Speedy.
saying that Paulie has a different definition, and then you're giving
Speedy,
this
stop.
explanation to explain why his definition is wrong, well, you have to give your
I didn't say his definition is wrong. Okay, look.
Oh my god.
That was me,
Polly.
to be fair. So sorry about that.
Wait, Polly, you understand that for me to
Look,
say that
there
Paul
just needs to
is
be a
delusional.
statement made about this. Wait,
Murphy, what do you want to say?
You understand that for me to say, to justifiably say that Paul is delusional, I'm gonna have to know what Paul means by Mustang, right?
Okay. Well,
You
I
agree,
think it's
right?
I guess, but I mean, what
Okay.
it means is
So it's relevant in this case, in the trans people's case, for you to know what they mean when they say women, right?
okay. I mean, let's say those terms doesn't matter.
Wait,
Changing your
wait,
gender
can
at
you just
all,
can you wait,
thinking
hold on,
that
hold
you
on,
can
hold on.
change your gender based on what you think you are is
Wait, you
completely
have to answer
not
my question. You have to
true.
answer my question. The question is, you think for you to be justified in saying that like Paul is delusional, you're gonna have to know what he means by Mustang, and you agree to that. Now, analogously, you're gonna have to also believe that for you to say that trans women are delusional, justifiably, you're gonna have to know what they mean by women, right?
No, because I have a different definition, and my definition would make them delusional because they are
What?
denying
Wait,
reality.
but it doesn't.
right?
Look, think about the Paul example. If I said, I don't. It doesn't matter what Paul means when he says Mustang, because I define Mustang as a horse, just like a type of horse. That wouldn't show that
So
he's
if my
delusional, right?
opinion on what being a man and woman means, why does your guys' opinions matter way more than mine? Why does my opinion matter less than yours?
Well, because what the guy is saying, if it's true or false, depends on what he means, right? So Paul, when he says, "I have a Mustang," that statement is true or false. He is delusional or he believes wrong things, depending on what he means by Mustang. If he means like a horse, then he's presumably going to be delusional, right? If he doesn't have a horse. But if he means like a car, then maybe he's not, right? Because he could own a car. Or let's just say that in this example, he does own a car. It's called like the, labeled Mustang.
I guess, but
yeah. So
still wanting to know if you guys think gender is malleable or not, like I asked before, but.
Well, but you understand that it's important for you to say that someone is delusional to know what they mean when they say the terms they're
They're denying basic reality, and that reality that I see is based on my definitions of man and woman. You guys might see it differently.
Murphy, can I have a go? Can I ask something?
Sure.
I gotta go in a few minutes, but
yeah. So
Okay.
let's just
Wait, can I just
Look,
ask one thing?
I
Because
don't even
you
know
guys
who-
have been. That's fine. Can I just have one little go? So
I'm sorry, I've been rude. You can go. Go ahead.
no, that's fine. That's fine. So now
I gotta go. Okay.
Okay, cool. So I try and be as quick as I can. So let's say someone says that I have a lion in my bedroom, right? But the country which they grew up in, lion meant what we traditionally mean by chair, right? Like a four-legged object traditionally used for sitting, right? So when they say I have a lion in my room, they mean I have a chair in my room. And so that's person A, right? And then let's say person B says I have a lion in my chair, and what they mean by lion is a large cat with teeth and claws and stuff like that, right? Now, and there isn't, and now I think it's fair to say that that's person B. I think it's fair to say that person A is not delusional because they're just using the term lion to mean chair, as we traditionally know. You agree with that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But I personally think it's delusional because me and many other people have that definition of man and woman. It all depends on your definition. Because of my definition of man and woman, I think that people who deny that
But they're not using your same
people who
definition.
deny that they are those categories are delusional.
But this
and you
this
guys might think
person grew. That's fine. But this person grew up in a country which used the word lion to mean chair, right? So when they're conceptualizing the proposition, I have a chair in my room, they're thinking, sorry, I have a lion in my room, they're thinking about having a chair in their room, right? So when they utter that proposition, I have a lion in my room, they're thinking about a chair. And if there actually is a chair in their room, then that belief, that proposition is true, right? It doesn't matter if the word lion is traditionally used in other ways, right? They're not delusional.
So you're saying there could be no definition of what a man or a woman means?
No,
Well,
people have
no.
used the same kind of phrase, like word, in different ways. There could be like general
so
usage.
then in that case, like I said before, why does your definition of it meaning whatever people identify it as matter more than my definition as the way people are born?
Well, it's not that it matters more, right? I don't know what it means for a definition to matter more.
Well, you guys keep saying, "Oh, I'm wrong," but your guys' opinions are right. But it doesn't mean
no
anything.
one's. Wait, no
But I'm
one said
still
you're
right.
No one said
right?
Well, no one said you're wrong, right? Even though I do think you're
Then
wrong
what-
when you say transgender is a
You guys
delusion, but
arguing with
whatever.
me
But
point of this
look,
whole
just
argument
one
if
sec.
No one said I was wrong.
Just one moment. So we're challenging you on your claim that being transgender entails a delusion, right? Because we don't know why you say that, right?
Because of my definition of man and woman and many other people's
Right, but again, if you
If you have
define
different
lion,
definitions, maybe that wouldn't be delusion. But my
Okay,
definition
okay.
is
How about this? How about this? How about
That's
this?
fine.
Using his definitions,
delusion.
trans
Oh,
people
no.
are delusional. Okay, is that fair to say?
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Why?
No, not really, because then you'd have to say
What's
the
your guys'
person
definitions of man
just
and
a moment,
woman? Tell me.
because then
doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look,
Of course.
then you'd have to
Please,
say
yeah.
then you'd have to say that the person who says, I have a lion in my room, and they mean I have a chair in my room, is delusional as well, right? Like, hopefully, look, can we just agree on that point, that that person who says, I have a lion in my room, but what they mean by that is I have a chair in my room, is not delusional?
No. I think it would be fair to say that that person is delusional if they're holding true
What?
that is not what lion. Okay, let me explain it this way, right? So if I have like a lion, like if I believe a lion to be someone in like a fursuit or whatever, or not, if I believe a lion to be like an animal where that like walks on four legs and is related to cats, like an actual lion, right? And that someone comes along to me and says they believe a lion to be someone in a fursuit, well, I'm gonna call them delusional because a lion isn't a fursuit, and I believe that that person is wrong. That's essentially what's going on here.
And also, if you're
It's the same
saying
mistake.
things
It's the
can
same
mean
mistake.
different things, that means delusional has no meaning, and that
No,
delusional
but
could mean anything, right?
It's wrong.
I've got a funny
It's
example.
wrong
So
to me, even if he believes that a lion is someone in a fursuit, right?
What does it mean?
Wait,
It's wrong
was
for
the
you.
hypothetical
What?
just that
It means
someone
that I
has a
don't believe.
different
No. It
definition?
means let me explain.
So
It means
the
that
hypothetical.
I don't believe a lion is someone in a fursuit. I believe a lion
Oh,
is an actual animal. And if someone comes to me and tells me they believe a lion is someone in a fursuit, well, I'm going to call them the delusional and believe that they're wrong,
no,
even
but
if based on my definition of what I think a lion is.
what?
Wait, so
Well,
you would
but
evaluate
Wait,
everything that
oh,
anyone
you
ever
would
says
want.
to you based only on your definitions, even if they are like making it clear that they're operating under a different definition?
Yeah, and I'm going to believe they're wrong based on my definition.
How can a definition be wrong? I don't even understand. Like, what? What does that even mean for a definition to be wrong?
Yeah, I think he's making like a new claim. No, he's saying something like.
I mean, you
the
guys said my
definition they believe
definition
in
of
is
a definition
Can
could be
I-
wrong if I hold a belief that it means something else, right?
of
Wait, so
equivocating
why are you
is
the
wrong,
arbiter?
right?
Like if you start saying
Alright.
trees are doors and start saying things are other things, well, I'm
He's
gonna call you
clearly
wrong.
speeding.
Yeah, you.
No,
It's
look.
a
Based
twisted
on
if-
holding.
He has
worldview
a
to
new
think
claim.
of things in that
Look,
way. You could say,
hey.
"Oh, murder
Oh
means
my
something
goodness.
else."
Look,
So
Pauly D,
it's not
you're-
really
you're
murder,
talking
right?
right
You
now.
guys are
Crime
missing the
means
just
point.
something
spiraling
else.
off,
It doesn't
look.
mean
Look,
crime.
Look,
It's a twisted
look.
worldview that
This
doesn't
is
make
just
sense.
this is just spiraling out, right? Look.
Yeah.
So what if
I
I
got
say
dumped
something
anyway.
like, what if I say something
Wait,
like,
before we go, Pauly D, can you listen to one last point? Lawless is going to walk you through one last point. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead, Lawless.
yeah, so if my brother comes up to me and says, yo, I'm gonna fly to the moon, and I go, yeah, okay, does that mean I'm delusional? Because I've agreed that he's gonna fly to the
Can
moon.
he get to the moon? It all depends. Does he get to the moon or not?
But I've agreed. I said, yeah,
what you're
okay.
saying is nothing means anything. So definition
not
of
what I said.
anything doesn't
If someone
matter.
tells me they're able to fly, I'm gonna call them delusional, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, what if my brother comes up to me and says, yo, I'm gonna fly to the moon, and I go, yeah, right. Am I delusional?
It all depends on the situation. Can he do it or not?
I mean, he can.
Wait, when he says "yeah, right," do you interpret that as meaning like an unironic agreement with the statement that was said to him?
Yeah, that's clearly
That's how I saw
sarcasm, which is an indirect speech act that does not actually imply agreement with the thing said. If anything, implies the opposite.
If you're explaining sarcasm now, this is just retarded.
What?
Well,
No,
you
but
didn't get
that
it.
was
This is
obvious
the
from
entire
the point. Did you guys not pick up on the sarcasm?
This is the
understood
entire point, that words have different meanings, right? People can have different definitions of the terms that they use.
And you can believe that individuals' definitions are wrong. Can we agree on that?
What does it mean to be a definite?
It means
So
that
you
if
believe
if
our
I
definition
believe a
of
tree is a tree,
definitions
no,
are wrong.
Listen, if I believe a tree is a tree and someone comes up to me and tells me a door is a tree, I'm gonna say that they're wrong.
You have to
So
make
how do
sure
you
that
think
you're
definitions are
using the
decided?
words in the same way.
Well, but if someone is saying that like a definition is wrong,
What
that could
he's
be
talking about?
that could be
One-
fine.
For
just
definition,
one
because
second.
that's what we're seeing in the
One second.
Wait,
Hey,
calm
hey.
down,
Yeah.
Michael Prime.
Oh my! Let's just actually fuck it. Just turn down Michael Prime. Turn that guy down. Everybody turn him down.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn him down. Okay. Well, you want to say something, Knife, or?
Yeah, I'm just saying what he's talking about is he thinks that these terms carve nature at the joints closer than other terms. Okay. He's talking about.
I'm not saying that.
What are you?
No, I'm
what are
saying
you
that
talking about?
I'm saying.
But what is it that makes, like, if I
What
come and
else?
say something like what the term car means is gonna be some like thing that has wheels that like drives around or something, like what is it that makes that statement true?
You hold in a belief that a car exists in an objective reality, and that's the way that you personify it.
So it's just how I use it.
And it's better for society to have a same common belief on definitions, and that does get muddied sometimes, which is the reason why we're having the debate at the time.
That's fine. Look, let's just take.
I gotta go. All
But
right.
you can still believe that individuals' definitions are wrong, and then you can argue over why you believe those definitions to be wrong,
Okay, so
and then come to a conclusion on whose definition we should use and which words we should use towards things.
all right, so
Wait.
let's
To come to some common
Poly-
understanding.
Wait, Speedy. Poly D is gone now, so we don't have to talk about this definition nonsense. Let's start from square one with you. So what we're all interested in here. What?
All right, go ahead.
Okay. What we're all interested in here. We're trying to get everybody's positions on this topic. That's who we start out with. Speedy, do you think all transgendered, let's say transgendered women, are delusional? Yes or no?
What do you mean by like, in what way do you mean delusional? Like, you think I think they're in like nut jobs? Like, do you think are you saying delusional in the way that I don't think they believe that they are actually what they say they
Wait,
are?
I thought words all have like these
Look,
objective
we'll just
common
say that.
meanings. What are you talking about?
Who are you?
Okay, I didn't wait.
Stop.
I know I do believe that, but
Look,
delusional.
okay, look, we're gonna
you can be
turn down
delusional in more
another
than one
person.
way, and I'm asking which
Look,
way they're delusional. He's asking if they're
stop.
delusional.
So what's different between that word
look,
and
we're gonna
like
turn
other
down
words
Spooky.
that you're
Hey,
saying have
everybody
only
turn down
one
Spooky.
meaning
Turn down
possibly?
Spooky.
Okay.
All right. So just focus on what I'm saying, okay? So everybody turn down Spooky. So Speed,
What? Don't do that.
Stop. Look,
No,
I'm just
no,
trying to
actually,
ask you.
don't turn down Spooky. She's actually cool. Don't do that.
I just
Yeah,
want to
look,
say,
she's
Spooky,
interrupting.
you
Look,
don't
she's
seem to be
interrupting. Tell her
capable
to
of
be quiet.
understanding what we're talking about at the moment, so please
No,
don't interrupt.
Yeah, you do.
I'm just trying to figure
No,
out.
I do.
Wait.
What? You do? Dude, I've been sitting here for so long listening to you, not understanding for hours. They've been trying to explain the same thing.
He's the paragon.
What the fuck?
He's the paragon of understanding of this
What the
conversation.
fuck is going on?
Spooky, let them go. Let
Can we
them go at
continue?
it. But no one
Alright, for sure.
turn down Spooky.
In what way are you asking me if I believe they're delusional? Like, do you think?
Okay, let's say this. You're delusional. You have a delusional belief. Say, just in case your belief is false and you're aware of evidence to the contrary. Let's just say that. You're aware of evidence.
The evidence available to you like strongly counts against that thing.
Yeah. Let's just say that. So, on that definition of having a delusional belief, do you think all transgender women have a delusional belief?
Yes.
Okay. And do they all have the same delusional belief?
If they are operating under the definition that man or woman is a social construction, like in the way that there are social traits,
yes or no?
in a specific way, or men or women act, then yes.
Okay, look. It seemed like the true answer is you don't know, right? That's what you were saying.
No, I do know.
Okay, so is it a yes or a no?
Yes, that's why I said yes.
Okay,
yes, with the things that I just said.
Yeah, look, I didn't ask you about those things.
But those things are relevant if we're talking about trans individuals, and if I hold a different definition to if the definition I hold doesn't match with the definition or they hold,
that's fine.
I believe their definition is wrong, and I believe they're delusional because they hold that definition.
Okay, look, that's an interesting statement. But before we get into that, let's just say this: if you don't know whether or not your usage matches up with their usage, just say that you don't know, right?
I literally know that my usage doesn't match up with their usage, right? That's why I said they believe that a man or woman is.
So then it's a no.
What? Can you stop? You like? Are you retarded? Like I literally explained it in the most.
Let's not be ableist, please.
Okay, so
wait. Let me ask.
I was just asking if you think they have all transgender women all have the same delusional belief. That's what I was asking, and it was yes or no, or maybe you don't know, right? Maybe you're.
My answer was yes if they operate under the belief that man and woman is a social construction.
I don't want you to qualify your answer. I'm not asking you to qualify your answer. I just want to
Well,
know,
it's
do you
important.
believe it? Yes or no? Do you believe that all transgendered women have the same delusional belief? Yes or no? Now, if you're saying that your answer is contingent on something else being true and you don't know if that other thing is true, then just say you don't know in response to my question, right? That's all you have to say.
Wait, before you answer,
Hey,
no,
whoa,
I
whoa,
think
whoa.
you're jumping the
All right.
gun.
Look, we're
But
gonna
you're
turn you
jumping
down
the
a
gun
little bit.
because he
Balls,
says.
you're cutting close to the line right now. I'm trying to talk to this person.
Wait, but when he says that definitions can be wrong, like, and you start to talk about a set, like,
None of that.
if you
I'm
don't
not
resolve
asking
that,
about that.
then
We'll get to that in a minute. So,
okay, but I feel like you're jumping the gun. That's all right, fine.
I'm just trying to make sure that the question's clear and answered. So you understand that when you qualify your answer with the condition that you don't know is true, then that means that you should just say that you don't know in response to the question, right?
Well,
you shouldn't answer affirmative or deny it.
Well, see, fine. I'll just say yes then.
Okay, so they all have the same delusional belief. And what's the belief that they all have that's delusional?
That man or woman is a social construction, and that you can by changing aspects about yourself to fit into more feminine or masculine thing, you become a man or woman based off of those things, which is a belief that majority holds. Some people believe that it's just whatever you identify as.
So
see,
that was
the issue is right is because
sentence, and I'm just trying to make sure I got the sentence down. Okay. And at the very end, it seemed like what you said is this is something only a majority believe, but we're asking about everybody, not just the majority.
See, but it's not fair to talk about everybody because not everybody holds the same belief on the matter. And we can get into why each of them are wrong, but if we're talking about an individual who's trans who says that they believe that a woman is someone who wears dresses and is feminine and submissive, when that if they believe that, which is what a woman is, well, I would say that that's wrong. But then you have other trans people who say that what a woman is whatever you identify as, right? So I can't give you an answer that qualifies every single individual trans person when there's multiple trans people who hold multiple different wrong beliefs on the matter.
So, like,
Great, then you can't call transgenderism a delusion, right? You've just agreed you can't call it a delusion.
I can call them a delusion being based off of
just a moment. We'll get there.
by believing that all those things are wrong, even though they hold different beliefs.
I'm glad you see where we're going, though, Laws. It's important that you understand. Okay, so you disagree now that transgendered people all have the same delusional belief. Sorry, transgendered women all have the same delusional belief. You disagree with that, right? That's what you're saying?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, so look.
But you're being really dishonest at the moment right now because you're trying to give an answer. You're trying
You
to give
said yes just a minute ago, and now you're saying
well,
no.
no, it's because I was explaining. I was trying to explain how, but you're trying to get me into an answer to where because okay, like if you're saying every trans woman, like if you're asking me if every trans woman holds the same belief on the matter and that I believe that belief is wrong, well, and I say yes to that, well. Then you're going to say, well, not all trans women hold the same belief, which I know that, and that's why I clarified that I would believe that every individual, I would believe that those different beliefs, which they use to justify them being trans, are also wrong, even though it's not the same belief as other trans women.
Okay, so
your answer. Some of them have different delusions, but they all have delusions.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. So the question is, we're going to try to make a list, okay? And we go one by one. So you're saying that there are multiple delusional beliefs that some transgender women have, such that they all have at least one of them. So So let's get a list down. So what are all the delusional beliefs that transgendered women have?
That
it has to be exhaustive. It has to be exhaustive, meaning that every transgendered woman at least has one of these beliefs. Now, let's write them down. So what's one?
Man or woman is a social construct based on traits that male and females typically tend to attribute. Or typically attributed to them. It's the first one.
Okay.
The second one is that man or woman, anyone I can identify as man or woman, and that it means nothing to be a man or woman. The third one.
I'll tell you when I'm finished typing. I'm a little bit of a slow typer, okay? Bear with me. So what is it? Anybody can identify as man or woman, and it means nothing to be a man or woman?
Yes.
And what's 3?
3 is that their sex is malleable.
Okay. And then what? What's 4? Is there a 4 or not?
Those are the main 3 I can think of at the top of my head. If I thought about it a bit more, I probably could think of another one. But
I'm gonna post what Yeah, I'm gonna post what I wrote down.
At the moment, those 3 are good to go off of.
Well, it has to be exhaustive. Okay, so you can't add shit later on.
That's
I don't. It seems like the wrong way to go, but I mean, sure.
Oh, okay.
Like he might just say, "Oh, there's more to it. I don't know what the other there's others, but I'm not sure what the other."
Well, I mean, if you
are."
can think of another individual, or if you can think of another justification that trans people tend to hold that I can't think of at the moment, that's not one of those 3. Please go ahead and give me it.
But so I mean,
Well,
it just seems weird not to.
What's the? Hey, Loss.
Wait.
Stop, dude. You were given a chance to
Let's talk.
So I want to make sure that I understood what Detroit said. So you think he can just say he doesn't know the exhaustive list?
Yeah, but I mean, either way, I mean, maybe.
I mean, I'm not gonna be able to give you every single individual justification.
It's Speedy, you're interrupting right now. I'm trying to talk to Detroit. Go ahead.
Yeah, he can say that, but first, well, I would want to go back to that, wrong definitions thing, but also
what's the relevance of that? All right,
I mean, that's the key issue. That's the whole issue here, actually, in my view. That's the whole thing, right? Is on the falsehood of their definitions. Because how else are you going to show that they're delusional? But by showing that they're wrong to say that, male and female, or male and man can come apart, or whatever else he thinks they're delusional in saying in this, as they're using those terms. So, I think that's the whole crux
maybe
of the
he's saying
issue.
Something like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but maybe he's saying something. There's like an alternative way I was picturing it. Like maybe he's saying, obviously all transgender women have the belief something like they think they're a woman, or in some way they have a belief about that, and then however they cash out the term woman, it's going to turn into a false proposition or something. So he doesn't have to make any commentary about whether the usage is incorrect or correct.
Right, he is making a commentary about that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying on this picture of things, where it's curious, right, that they have delusional beliefs, but he doesn't make any comment about that. And I guess if you want
to, which is why I said, like, why not just show? Can I say something? Just one thing.
Okay, look, we need to turn some people down. Some people.
Are you like a mod in here or what? What is this?
No, but you guys are interfering. He's trying to run through a kind of like he's got a template, you might say, like a schema of how to sort of get to the bottom of this.
Well, you need to be formulaic with these people because they lose track a lot, and if you just go, they'll go all over the place. If you don't,
I just wanted to.
clear.
Okay,
What
sure.
do you mean?
Look,
Stop.
What do you mean,
fear
you people?
that I just fear that you might be attacking down the wrong path. And I just wanted to.
I don't
my suggestion.
I fear that you fear that.
Taking the lazy approach, the non-measured, like I'm gonna just feel like I did something and made a difference and then dip.
Where did these people come from? Like, clearly Laws
Where do they grow these people?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, how did they join the VC? Like, clearly Laws is not a conservative or a native to the server. He clearly joined for a special purpose. Like, who?
What? Can you stop grandstanding if we get on with it?
Okay. Well, yeah, we were just having a little aside. But did you feel like that was resolved, sure?
Sure.
Not really, but you can go ahead.
Okay. Well, if he says he doesn't know the exhaustive list or whatever, then I'm just going to ask the argument. What's the argument that that's true then? Well, I don't even know if that even makes any sense. He says that there's... Let me think. Can he even say that?
Of course he can say that he thinks they're all delusional, but not necessarily be committed to what each of their delusions might be.
Sure, I agree with that. That makes sense. Maybe just...
It's fair to ask, okay, then why think they're all delusional? Especially given that you're not sure which delusional. And then second...
Is that the next question?
And then the follow-up after that is, even if he can answer that, there's going to be a follow-up, why are these things that he lists delusions?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Ask the next question.
Yeah, so let's go back so we have to clarify right now. There's this thing Detroit brought up. So go look at what I posted in the chat. Okay. You there? Yeah. Do you believe that this is the exhaustive list, or do you not know if there's more? And for all you know, there's more.
at the moment, I would say that this is the top 3 majority that I can think of.
Look,
See, getting into like trying to give every single reason is just stupid, right? Like we can talk about the major reasons and be fine and have an honest discussion from there.
Well, look.
Right, but like trying to give every single fucking specific reason why a trans individual, like I'm sure there's one outlier out of the fucking every single trans person that holds some different belief, right? Like different justification for it. But that person doesn't matter. But if you're gonna keep saying to me that I need to give you every single reason, well then we're just not gonna be able to go on from here.
Wait, so are you saying that you don't know all the reasons? Well, let's just call them reasons, I guess.
Sure, I don't know all the reasons, but for the overwhelming majority of reasons, I would say they're delusional that they hold that belief.
I mean, like we haven't. So you're just saying that the majority of transgender women at least have one of these beliefs in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, do you actually have any proof of that? I mean,
okay,
I obviously
now you're just gonna get like no, I'm not gonna be able to fucking give you a source that all trans women hold these beliefs, but like talk to literally anyone.
The question was most, or why is that most of them have those beliefs?
Because literally this is the main argument that individuals use to justify trans individuals. Like the first one, that man or woman is a social construct, like literally ask any trans individual, not any trans, literally ask most trans individuals, and they'll
the reason I'm asking
you,
the reason I'm asking you if you have any further support for that claim is because it's not intuitive to me, and you know.
But now you're just being dishonest, and there's really no point in continuing. Right?
Please don't. I won't comment about your psychology, and don't comment on mine. Okay. Now I was asking you proof because it doesn't seem obvious at all, and it's going to be hard to falsify unless you know there's some kind of experimental data.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think you're smart? Like do you enjoy like getting into really specific things, like and not having honest conversations to just be right technically, like on a technicality?
What difference does that make?
That's
I'm just asking.
Ad hom, or I'm just.
This is gonna take us off track, though. I think
this isn't gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, let's
it's
try to stick to the.
It's not gonna go anywhere because he's asking me to prove to him that this is what a majority of the trans people believe, and that it's not intuitive to him. Because it's not intuitive to him, I'm wrong, right? And I don't think that's an honest thing to do in this conversation, because I'm not going to be able to source to you that this is what all trans individuals believe, right? But talking to a majority of them, or like every trans individual I've interacted with, this is one of these 3 reasons is the individual justification.
You're not talking about something that anybody is talking about right now, and you're not saying anything related. Just focus on. I'm going to make a point, and I want you to focus on it. Okay. Yeah. So if it was intuitive to me, or if it seemed obvious to me, then I wouldn't ask you for proof. I would just accept it.
Okay? How do you want me to prove it though? That's the issue, right? There's really no way for me to prove this claim to you, because every time, like, I'm not going to be able to give you a source that this is true, right?
Look, all you have to say is that
whether or not we're being honest to ourselves, right? And whether or not you're actually open to have an honest discussion instead of trying to catch me on a technicality.
I'm trying to be honest with you. I'm trying to report.
No, you're trying to win on a technicality and say
you're getting emotional right now.
No, I'm not getting emotional. It's just
calm down.
Yeah, you need to give me some. You need to focus a little bit, all right, dude? Okay. So you don't. So your answer is you don't have any proof of that, right?
No, and does that make you feel right? Do you think do you feel like you won because
I made that claim? Another question, and maybe it's better phrased as a why question. I'm not sure if that's better. I don't think it's better, but we'll just say this: why think that all transgender people have some delusional belief, or all transgender women have some delusional belief?
Because of the 3 reasons that we listed off with the list that you made, I would say that majority of them hold one of these 3 reasons beliefs, and because they hold these beliefs, which I hold to be true, I would say they're delusional.
No, but that's sort of repeating the claim, right?
We didn't even give an exhaustive list, so this isn't even going to show that all transgender people at least have some.
Oh my God! See,
Even if the majority.
You're doing the thing again, right? Like you're trying to catch me into technicality, which is retarded. Like you're not going to be able to have an intellectual or like an honest discussion with someone, especially with this topic.
I'm just pointing out what you said doesn't follow.
No,
So
yeah, based on a technicality. If you're like, you're trying to sound smart, and it's so infuriating.
Look, if I sound smart, that's by no intention of mine, okay? And maybe it's actually because you're looking dumb. Now,
wait,
when
come
I
on, don't be mean.
No,
Don't
I
be
look
mean.
dumb because I wasn't able to give you the 100% answer, and 99.9% wasn't good enough for you because you could just say all. Like if I say most and I mean 99%, well, and then you say, well, all people don't actually hold this belief. Well, no shit, 0.1% of the individuals don't hold this belief, right? But if we're being honest, you know what we mean.
Look, the original query was if you think that all transgendered women are delusional. Okay, that was the question at the outset. So that's why we're exploring. Yeah, that's why it's important that you're capturing everybody that's a transgender woman.
And you're trying to claim I'm wrong on a technicality of you saying all and then me saying almost all, right? Like it's a really stupid hair to split.
Well, to be fair, he did say most.
No, yeah, I know I said most, but like if we're gonna have
the other person that you're talking to also said most.
Like you're the one that keeps saying all. It's like I get what you're doing. Like if you're gonna
I want to just make sure that we're both clear with each other. So the cited reason that you gave after I asked why I think that all transgender women have at least have some kind of delusional belief, the cited reason you gave doesn't actually follow. It doesn't actually follow that it's true that all transgendered women.
Oh no! Sorry. Just I know it's not true because not all trans women have that belief, right? But it's true for the majority of them that do hold that belief, and I would say that because you said the word all, right? Like I don't like if this was like a serious like debate, like where you're in front of a judge and there's like a contest, I understand what you're doing because I've done the same thing before.
I don't know what you're talking about right now. Oh my God. If you're saying you don't actually hold the view that all transgendered women are delusional or have some kind of delusional belief or another, well, you just say that. Just say you're walking back what you said.
See.
You said you wanted honesty, right?
No,
I want honesty from you now.
See, this isn't honesty, right? Like you're going into this acting like we're having like a contestation.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about right now. I'm just asking you simple questions. So let me repeat. I'll just repeat what I propose that you do.
No, you're just catching me. You're catching me. You're catching me on a technicality that is just a stupid thing to make yourself seem superior in this argument, right? Is that not what's happening?
I'm not sure what the hell you're talking about right now. But
because you keep
what I think that's happening is
like you're saying you're trying to get me to go back on what I said because you used
Speedy,
the word all.
please breathe in.
Just relax.
Breathe
That's
out.
a good idea. So I'll take a breather.
Breathe in. Breathe out.
Like,
Let's relax, you know.
Well, I just want to quickly say this. You can talk if you want to. So he's trying to qualify his answer by saying, oh, it's only true of most transgender women that they have this delusional belief or they have some delusional belief. But that's not answering the question, which is about all transgendered women. And so if his true answer is that he doesn't actually think all transgender women have some delusional belief or another, and it's just like some or most or whatever language he wants to use, then what I propose is he just clarifies that no, he doesn't think that all transgendered women have some kind of delusional belief, contrary to what he was saying earlier.
I think he meant most by not all.
No, I would say all, but because I can't give you the exhaustive list as to every individual trans belief that they hold, well, then you're going to say, oh, like I would say that every single one of them is individually delusional. With every individual, like if anyone who says they're a trans woman and believes that they're actually a woman, I would say that they are delusional, even if I'm not going to be able to give you the justification that they hold for that belief for every single individual.
So can I point out something that I think is like where this conversation is hinged on? Like one of the things Wait, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can continue. I interrupted you, but
Okay. Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that one of the beliefs you offered up was that you are under the impression that trans people think that their sex, like their biological sex, is malleable, right?
yes.
I would disagree with you there. I think that, in a similar way to how you're saying, oh, maybe there's a few that don't hold these beliefs. Yeah, maybe there's like 3 trans people somewhere that think that they are literally changing their biological sex. But I would say that, like, for all intents and purposes, trans people do not have that belief.
And I would agree with you. I would not say that that's the majority belief. That's why I would say the first reason that I gave that man or woman is a social construct based on traits that are typically attributed to males and females. That's what I would say is the majority belief. But I would say that there are few out there that believe that their sex is malleable. It may be a small few. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to give you an exact number, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But what Knife is doing is because I'm not able to
please stop
give the
commentating. Please stop commentating on my psychology. I don't need you to paint a narrative around what's going on in my head. Okay. I would just like you to focus on the conversation instead of speculating about my mentality right now. Now, I think you agreed with what Spooky said, which more or less, as I understand it, was just there's at least some people who are trans women and they don't have any delusional belief for being trans. Is that right?
Well, no, he said that they still hold the first of the beliefs that he put forward as, like that they would still think that, like, gender is a social construct and that that's a delusional belief. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Would Detroit, you want to question whether or not these are delusional beliefs in the first place, Saran? I just made that up. I don't know if that's what you're trying to do.
Well, I mean that's one of the next steps, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even if suppose the claim in question is that most trans people, at least most trans people, are delusional, and I mean, suppose we even grant that this is some belief that most trans people have, and you want to say that by that fact they're going to be delusional. So there's 2 steps there. One, you have to show that this belief is false, and 2, you have to show that, given that delusion is more than just believing something which is false, that there's like ample evidence available to them that belief is false. And so that's the kind of the next steps in the dialectic. Even granting that that's a belief common to like most or a large number of trans people.
Yeah.
Which I would say is the honest thing to do without getting caught up.
Well, I guess that's also important. That's a good point. That's important. So on all fronts, okay, all claims, meaning there's going to be some claim about this being an ordinary belief, and then there's going to be some claim about it being false, and then there's going to be some claim about it, given what we mean illusional, there's going to be some claim about how it's clearly false given the evidence that the person is aware of. Okay, on all those claims, we're going to make sure that you don't have any proof of that, just so we're all on the same page. So we already figured out on the claim about it being ordinarily held, an ordinarily held belief, or one of these beliefs is ordinarily held, at least among trans women. That's not something you have any proof for. Okay, we already established that. Now let's go on to the other ones. So what's a man or woman is a social construct based on traits male or females tend to attribute. That's what you're saying is false?
Yes.
Now,
but before we move on, I just want to point out the little comment you made. You don't have any proof that this is true. Like, and just you saying that just proves what I was talking about the whole time, and how you're trying to catch me.
Stop! You're doing it again. Okay, you're trying to narrate what's going on in my head. I don't know why you're trying to do that.
Okay, let's move on.
Doesn't establish
anyways,
anything.
Back to what we were talking about.
Yeah. So there is some ambiguity around what a social construct is, at least in contemporary social ontology. So there are like a couple different definitions here. So actually, instead of like going into that, like all the esoteric stuff, I'm just gonna ask you, what do you think people are saying when they use the word social construct, so we can understand what you're saying when you use this sentence?
Before we get into that, can I ask you, do you believe something being a logical fallacy makes something false?
Ooh, I'm not sure what does that even mean?
Like, if something's a logical fallacy, would you agree to say that whatever that thing that is a logical fallacy is false?
No, that doesn't follow per se. Now let's
Like,
get back to what we said. Yeah, let's get back to what we were talking
no,
about.
I know, but I actually want to clarify this because it's actually important to before we move on, right? Like, if we have something that's a logical fallacy, would it be fair? Do you think we are able to claim that that thing is false?
No, like, it doesn't
The
follow that
logical
it's false.
fallacy is false, or the thing concluded fallaciously?
The thing concluded fallaciously is false.
Yeah, it doesn't follow that that's false.
Yeah, so now that we got all that, I don't know what that was supposed to help, but now that we got all that settled, so what do you understand social construct here to be? And again, the reason I'm asking is because there is some ambiguity here.
I would say in the way we use words, it's what people tend to agree on with how we define things, right?
Okay. So you're saying that man or woman is something people tend to agree on based on how they define it, based on traits male and females tend to attribute?
Yes.
And you think that's false?
Yes.
So man and woman is not something people conventionally define based on traits males and females tend to attribute. And conventionally defined, that's just shorthand for saying that it's like commonly agreed upon, more or less.
Yes.
Why would we think that's false? So just to be clear, you're saying that it's false that there's a conventionally agreed upon definition of man or woman based on traits males and females tend to attribute.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so what's the support for that? Why would we think that?
Because I think people tend to look at
let me just be clear. This actually might contradict something you said earlier, because you're just saying there's no conventional definition of man or woman, basically, more or less.
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not the conventional definition that man or woman is socially defined based on attributes like behaviors or typical or like stuff like that, right? Or like how individuals dress or something like that, right? Like I wouldn't like I'm saying that the definition that a man is someone who acts in a masculine manner or acts in or wears certain types of clothes or has a certain hair length. I'm saying that if someone labels someone as a man based on those traits specifically, I would say that it's not inherently true.
Oh, there's so I understand what you're saying. So maybe there's a slight change. So maybe we should say something like, it's false that there's a man or a woman. A man or woman is conventionally defined based on traits males and females tend to have instead of tend to attribute. So is that right?
Sure.
Okay. And what's the argument?
I don't think he knows what you're talking about.
Well, no, okay, yeah, that was a little bit of your answer there it seemed like you didn't understand the question.
I don't even understand.
I was thinking about the attribute thing for a second, which is
okay. Well, focus on what I'm saying. So I'll ask the question again. I'm just trying to make sure everybody's on the same page here. Remember?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Look, that doesn't. I mean, yeah. So I'll just ask the question anyway, because it's not to you. So you're saying that it's false that a man or woman is conventionally defined based on attributes males and females tend to have.
Yes.
Okay, and that's different from
wait. I would say I would add inherently somewhere in there. I would say it's not inherently true that a man or woman is a man or woman based on the attributes that they display, which are typically associated with things like masculine or feminine, or like the way they dress or the way they act.
Yeah, so
what is the inherently adding there? It's not really.
What?
Like
the reason why I added the inherently is because like if I see someone on the street and like I think they're a man, well, it's not inherently true that they are a man based on me assuming that they're a man because of these attributes.
All right, I'm just gonna say this: if you have a dick, you have a dick. If you have a pussy, you have a pussy. I don't care.
Okay.
Not that
Anyways,
complicated.
is
Thanks
that
for
fine?
that
Okay,
apology.
well,
Is that
that's just true.
is the reason
Yeah.
for me adding the inherently clarified knife?
Not for me, but you guys can continue the conversation.
Wait, can you just repeat? Where did they inherently add it? I wasn't.
Well, see, the reason why I would say that it is not inherently true that it is not inherently true that a man is a man based on the way that I perceive them. Like if I perceive them to be masculine and I assume that they're a man based on that, well, it's not inherently true that they are a man based on the way that I'm perceiving them.
So you're saying it doesn't follow from the fact that you believe that they're a man that they are. Is that all I was saying?
Say it one more time.
It doesn't follow from the fact that you believe that they're a man or a woman that they are a man or a woman, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Sure.
So
if you perceive them to
believe
have a penis, then
gender beliefs aren't beliefs about gender aren't factive. Okay, good. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Mars bars, you get one warning. The next interruption, we're gonna turn you down. Okay, we don't know who you are.
You don't know who Mars bars is?
Jesus Christ, you have such a fucking ego, dude.
Okay, knife. Can we continue?
Let me just say this. So we can use the phrase gendered beliefs are not effective when it comes to trans women, I guess. But we should be more specific because that's kind of jargony and maybe these people don't understand. So one basically says just that it doesn't follow if you believe you're a woman that you are a woman.
Yeah, sure.
Wait, was what you were saying true? I kind of.
Sorry,
I thought his point was that he was saying that his perception is not always going to be like infallible about someone's.
Yes.
That's another way of putting what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
What his perception?
Like if I perceive someone on the street as a man, that does not inherently mean that they are a man.
Oh yes, we get it. So beliefs about gender can be wrong. We get it. Yeah.
No, I mean it doesn't seem like that's okay. Well, if that's what he's saying, is that what you're saying?
Yes. Did you?
Okay, so so you can have false beliefs about gender. Is that what one is saying?
I assume that's what he was saying.
Yes.
Let me just make sure. Is that what you were saying?
He said yes a couple times.
Yes.
Okay. So that's so weird. So the statement, a man or woman is a social construct based on traits male and females tend to attribute. That statement in reality just means that you can have false beliefs about gender. It's fucking weird. Okay,
no, I think he's just adding something onto it. He's just making another claim.
Oh, there's another claim we gotta add here?
Wait, no, it's pretty obvious what the link is. Like what's being said is that if it is just a social construct,
I'm not
right?
giving 100% attention right now, so you're gonna have to walk me through it. So what was the?
Send the invite to people.